Oh, come on. Oh, there we are. Let's get this off. Get this off. Well, we do have a couple of people watching. Who's watching? Say hi. Where are you calling from? Yes, announce yourselves with I don't know. Just say hi. That's what we're looking for. Cool. Hey, Assad, how are you? Enjoying your White Mare Concord before getting your hands dirty. Well, what are you going to be getting your hands dirty with? Playing the Concord? I don't know. Are you going to be gardening? Are you going to be what are you going to be doing? That's in rainy Palm Bay. All right. Rainy Palm Bay. Rainy Palm Bay. That sounds fun. If like say it fat, rainy Palm Bay. I don't know. It just kind of sounds like it just sounds fun. Searching for Tone is in North Carolina. How is the search going? What are you? What have you found? Please tell me. Tell me all about it. I don't have much to talk about right now. Darlene, hello. Hey, I got your email. We do and don't really have. So, Darlene is local to me, and then in a way, you're all local to me right here. But Darlene asked a common question that we get, and it's do you have can we come see your space and check out some guitars? And it's kind of like a sort of not really kind of answer in that. So we don't have a showroom or anything, I'm like, we don't have a retail outlet, which can make this sort of thing very difficult, especially if you never have played one of my guitars, our guitars, the collective our guitars, the guitars, but local, if we're building something for someone and they're local, yeah, you can of course come pick it up. But yeah, the guitars that we have at the shop usually are other people's. We do have a few guitars that are available that people can buy. And I suppose we could kind of set something up. But the presentation of the whole environment isn't great in that it's a workshop. It's often super dusty. And there's an office where the shop amp is currently is right there, because we're still in the process of this whole move. More on that. So we could kind of sort of work something out maybe, but on the other hand, we're still unpacking from a move, and I got to get that up and running. So it's I really wish that we had another kind of workshop or another area that could be let's just fully deck this out. We'll put amps, we'll put good lights in there, and make the room sound good, and have a really rad kind of display of guitars. And let's be real, I'm never going to be able to make that happen. But Darlene, take a look at the links that I sent you about the models that we offer, and you can check out, general pricing and stuff. And, you know, uh, once I kind of get out from underneath this move, maybe we can figure something out. Yeah. I know all of this could have been accomplished in an email, and maybe even better served in an email, but we're both here, so let's do that. Searching for tone has found that he does not have any tone. Well, all right. Well, I think everything has a tone, right? It's just whether or not you like it. Got me in the feels. Oh, okay, you're getting in greasy cars. You could be fighting off snakes, rabbits, or alligators. I would imagine of the three, rabbits are probably the easier fight, right? I don't like the idea of fighting alligators. I don't really like the idea of befriending alligators. And I understand that, like, those that live in Florida, it's just like, yeah, we're lousy with alligators and we just see them. And it's one of those things that you're aware of. But holy crap. I mean, and I've been to Florida a bunch, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen an alligator. But yeah, please don't fight the alligators. Don't feed them either. Maintain a safe, respectable distance, and do that. That's my cool life advice. John, good morning. Joe, good morning. Assad says, howdy, the never-ending search. Wait till the movie's complete. So, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Ah, bonjour. Ça va? Tu vas bien? Mike, how you doing? How have you been? I hope you've been good. I hope you've been doing great. Well, that's a good point. And I don't want to interject into your conversation that you two are having, but that you do make a valid point that if you found the tone, but think about this. If you change it to, I found the tone, then people are going to be like, because like right now, searching for tone, I'm like, yeah, who isn't, right? But if you say, I found it, look, it's just some free advice. Don't follow my advice. I have terrible advice. Johnny, good morning. Good morning to you. How are you doing? You have alligators in Huntsville and werewolves in London. Woo! Alligators in Huntsville. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, bud, from Newfoundland. Is there an Old Finland? Probably not. Or I guess it would just be Foundland. Foundland. It's a little some seventh chords for you, I think. Probably not. So that's my cool chord progressions that you probably can't even really hear, and that's fine. It's probably for the best. Good morning, Sully from Mazda Westwood, Massachusetts. Good morning to Mazda Westworld, Massachusetts. How are you? Yeah. So what's my deal? What do we have going on? What has been the life update that the kids want to hear all about? So, number one, I'm exhausted. Number two, I'm exhausted. Number three, I'll stop complaining about being exhausted because now, I've said it. Well, but things happen in threes. Exhausted. Good morning, Catfish. I was going to go to the shop this morning and continue the whole unpacking of it all, but and talk to you from there. But guys, I couldn't really. getting to this point was really quite an effort. So I'm just going to do my best here. So the move, okay. So this week has really just been like unpacking, trying to organize things, trying to get things set up, dealing with some electricity adjustments. Oh, now I got the thumbs up. Dealing with the electricity, yeah. And really just figuring out like where the fuck is all this stuff gonna go? Because where we're moving, where we are now is it's like 3/4 of the size of where we were. And so there are, tables and shelving units and things like that that don't really have a home right now. So they're going to go above the offices. The new place does have air conditioning, which is nice. However, I got my first electric bill already, which is good because, I mean, it's never good to get a bill. But as I was setting up my account with the electric company, they're like, well, what rate plan do you want? What rate do you, how many kilowatt hours do you think you're going to use? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. Like, this is my first day. I have no idea. I've never had to worry about this sort of thing as a, being outside the garage. So I got the bill, and it was just for like 8 days worth of service, but it was like $75. So that means that with the AC on, and like I have it set at like 85, and well, I do now. I think I had it set to like 80. And that sounds like, well, aren't you going to use it? But like it works. And originally I thought, well, we're just going to have it on during the day while we're there. But then, David inadvertently reminded me of, some real truth here is that it's easier to keep something at a temperature than to go up and down and up and down and up and down. That is true. However, I can't have like $300 electric bills. So I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. Also in the on the unpacking process, I've removed 2 dead rats from the premises, which is, you don't want to keep those around. So that's good. It's one of those things where the building that I'm in was, it was like the entire building was an auto repair place. And I guess they had, some rodent infestation, as it's called. And, it's been segmented into, smaller suites and stuff like that. And it just kind of, causes a ruckus and stirs everything up. But, my landlord was aware of it. They put, bait down, but like, yeah. So Darlene's got it. She's got a good idea here. She's headed off to Frisco for some self-care. That's a good idea. I don't know how to have a restful Saturday, but I am stoked for you and your self-care. I've heard it's important. There's some stuff I do for that. Rest. That's ce n'est pas possible. Yeah. So yes, we've gotten rid of a couple of dead rats, which is fine. Much easier than the alive ones. That was early in the week. Haven't seen any since. So fingers crossed. What else? Installed some lighting, because that was some supplemental lighting yesterday. Like I've got like my workbench set up. The office is mostly set up, which is great. And the dust collection, like the ducting, has been reconfigured, and that's good. And there's a couple of tweaks that need to be done with that, and then we'll make some new fixtures for the CNC. I think that we'll have, like, through this week, we'll be kind of moving. Like, I had to, just for my own kind of sanity, I had to do a little bit yesterday. So we got some trellas back from paint. So I needed to, like, do something that was not related to, like, let's put this over here. And yeah, so I did a little bit of that, and that was good. And there's some stuff. There are some guitars that we are going to be shipping next week for some videos that I'm stoked about. So that's good. We're slowly crawling out of it. I've thought about that, but then so then I have to keep a cat in the shop. I'm not gonna do that, just because, like, we got a cat here, and Liz Lemon is the coolest. She's fine, but, like, I don't I don't want everything that comes with that. You know what I mean? And also, like, it's too loud. It's gonna be way too loud to have a shop cat, or some sort of pet in there. So I thought about it, but I don't think that's gonna work for me. No production, I guess. No production. Now, no, definitely not. I assume you're just referring to, just because of the move, like, we're not getting stuff done. That is 1,000% true. Well, I mean, we're getting stuff done. It's just not guitar shipping, which is, I much prefer to do that. How are the custom CS orders going? Good, submitted. What I've been doing is, as they come in, they all go in a spreadsheet, and at the end of each month, I ship them off. So that's the process. And there's been some really cool guitars that have been submitted, and I think that's cool. Got a couple of lefties, which I'm very happy about. Some sevens. We've got some Evertunes, stuff that, like, I've wanted to do, but and so now that's happening. So I'm really glad about that. Yeah, and then John's got a good question here of, should be getting close. Yeah, now I haven't seen production photos yet, but I know we're right in their target window of production, because I know that they wanted to get them completed right around this time. So, like, June, July, August was the window. But now that we are kind of in that process, or in that time span, that's the word, that's the correct term that I was looking for. I'll get a clearer production time and let you guys know. The nice thing is that, with the fact that we are in regular contact, and quite frankly, like, I'm probably a little bit slower to respond to emails than they are. So that's good. I just like this chord. Perfect. Sounds beautiful. Let's see. I do not enjoy movies. Sometimes you get a chance. Yeah, that I agree with this in theory. I never find that space, because I am. I've got a few thoughts. Like, perfection is the enemy of the good. when it comes to these sorts of things. And you know what? That's I don't, maybe that's not accurate. That just sounds like a good thing to say. Um, but I did catch myself saying that during this process, just because what I want to do is just get the stuff moved, get it somewhere, and refine as we go. Because that is definitely something I do with pretty much all aspects of my life, be it communication, um, be it making guitars, or designing guitars. Just make the thing and then let's step back. I know that you can draw the, people some people are like, well, draw the whole thing, draw the whole new shop location out, in CAD, and then you make your, draw your tools and all that stuff, and then you can place them about and see what works. I'm not gonna fucking do that, because it's just like, I can take the time and actually try and figure out, like, draw all that stuff out. Um, I'm never going to, like, why I'm not going to take the time to do that. Well, it's your loss, my loss. But I just, the whole, like, well, where's this gonna go? Let's just get it somewhere, and we'll go from there. There are definitely it's just tough. It is. There's just no other way to explain it. It's tough. I'm exhausted, and I keep looking at, like, where can I put this? And I'm like, does this, like, the Marie Kondo, the whole thing? Does this spark joy? I'm like, fucking none of this sparks joy. But does this have a need does this thing have a need in this location? Can it serve a purpose? And if not, then you've got to get it somewhere, because so then we can kind of just put it up on top of the offices, because there's storage above there, which is great, because it just gets stuff off the floor, just kind of removes things until we can kind of get things placed. So that's I would like to make things more efficient, and there are there are schools of thought where it's like, okay, where you place things, it's like you've got a general flow, you've got all your raw materials, and then you store them there, and then you process them here, and then they get, you lay things out. So it's like, it starts in the back where your raw materials are, and the ultimate goal is to get them out the door. So you kind of organize things to that um, to that process, to that idea, mind flow, mindset, whatever. And that's fine and good, but, like, I've found in practice that I haven't been able to apply that maybe as well as possible. Ah, so what happened in 2007? Is it are they still in production in some form? Can't put a CNC on wheels. But the good thing is, like, the CNC location is fine. That's where it needs to be. And all of the workstations can be moved around with pallet jacks. So, like, I'm pretty mobile with the stuff that can be. Like, the jointer is on wheels, or it's on a mobile base at least. It's really just there's a lot that's on wheels, which is good. That was something that I'm glad I adopted very, very, very early on, like in the early garage, like when I first started that. Anything on wheels is good, but yes, that is true. True story. True story. Um, and also with, like, the going back to the wheel thing, like, we've got um, carts, like shelving racks, yeah, wire shelving units. That's what I'm looking for. That we use, like, that bodies and necks will be, like, when they're in the woodworking process, they, this is where this one goes, and they get that's where they're stored, and all of that stuff is on wheels. So that is very helpful, because you can just move shit around. Yeah. So that's kind of it with the shop. We're I gotta say, like, we should be able to start doing some work in like Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. Like even maybe even a little bit on Monday. You know, uh, so that's good, because I'm really, frankly, tired of this part right now. Oh, that blows. I don't know what the Songmaker series is. It acoustics? Um, I couldn't be less. Well, I'm sure I could be less knowledgeable about what they do as far as product, but um, definitely, like, as far as acoustics, I have no clue. Um, but yeah, that sucks. Um, okay, yes, they are acoustics. Gotcha. What else? Let's see. Okay, so the Run 8 guitars. Yeah, we're gonna start changing the names of these things, because they're gonna, like, this is Run 37. Oh, what's Run 37 in a row? Yes, 37 in a row. Um, and Yeah, we'll have to change the name of that, but not today. Basil Week. That was terrible, but uh, I'm trying. What else? Oh, I finally got my hand surgery scheduled, so that's good. Um, the end of this month, 27th, I get hopefully get this my my get the trigger finger release surgery. So I am hopeful. I'm equal parts hopeful and terrified. Probably a little more terrified than hopeful. But that's also kind of my state lately. Thank you. Somebody got that. I knew that was going to happen. Um, uh, yeah, I went. See, I had it scheduled in like 2023, um, but the surgeon so the hand surgeon was in network, but the facility that he operates in was out of network. So my insurance denied um, that, and as is the case with healthcare in the United States, you can't afford to just have it done. But the one thing that would have been nice about having that done at that time is they kind of knock you out a little bit, like a Twilight kind of thing. And let me tell you, I love being knocked out. Like, whenever I go to whenever I've had like dental stuff that, like, I had like an implant done. Um, and it's like, oh, well, we'll just gas you. I'm like, can you just knock me out? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm like, let's just do that, because it's the only time I'm at peace. And I'm out. And that's fun. And I know that when I'm awakened, I'm usually entertaining. I'm usually a good time. Yeah, that sounds good. Yes, hand surgery, trigger finger release. I've had it for about 6 years, um, and thankfully, it hasn't been painful. It just kind of locks up. Um, oh boy, therapy. Okay, yeah. That's the thing too. Like, so I was like, that was the thing I was looking forward to. Um, just knock me out. Just knock me out for a while. And so when I went to the surgeon that I'm going to, like, say, I've known some people that have had this done, and they've all had they've all been awake for it, and it just kind of numb you locally, like most dental stuff. And and I'm, they're explaining this to me, that when I go to my consultation, they're like, okay, yeah, you'll be awake. We'll numb you up, and it is a routine thing, and so that's great. I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it really is, I'm sure. It doesn't change the fact that I'm terrified about it. And because the one thing that they mentioned was like, we want you to be awake because when we go ahead and do the procedure, you're going to test it right there. And so if there's still some problems, we can investigate further. That's totally fair. Totally get it. But yeah, I'm like, "Ah." Totally. Yeah. I am not ashamed to admit that, like, I got home and I totally had a panic attack. I mean, maybe I should be ashamed to admit it. I don't know. Whatever. Look at me. How much shame do I have? Look at this. Not much right now. But so I've got that scheduled for the 27th. I am hopeful that I'm sure it will go smoothly. It is a very easy routine thing. Just as guitar people, and maybe I shouldn't make this broad generalization because I can only speak from my own experience. Um, like, since I was a kid, I'm like, I'm gonna be a rock star. That's just what I'm gonna do. And people would be like, oh my God, what happens if what happens if you break a finger? What happens if something happens to your hands? And, so I've always been like very, very, very protective of, of, of these guys. And, so, uh, some of that really kind of comes into to play here. And like, my mom's had that surgery, I think a couple times. My stepdad's had it. I keep telling myself it's fine. And I know we're all watching this going like, dude, just shut up and talk about why you hate building neck throughs, or why you talk about your troubleshooting evaluation of various tone woods and their impacts on various tonal frequencies across the spectrum. I don't do that. Anyway, I don't know what that is. That sounds terrible. I hope you're good because you're great. And yeah, again, like, I know this is totally, it's a routine thing. But yeah, I absolutely get panic attacks. So that's a hoot. Ah, all right. Unique Sniper checking in. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I don't know that you're going to get anything of value from this, but you'll find out soon enough. Thank you. I just got done jamming some death. All right. All right. Well, I hope you found that enjoyable. I'm sure you did, Mr. Sniper. They do. They do. But yeah. Yeah. There's no that. Let's try and let's talk about some fun stuff. I know, like, the past, I don't know, couple of months, I've just been like, you're a huge fucking bummer, and I'm like, yeah, I know, sorry. I got to play out a little bit. I playing this little guy. I put strap locks on it because when I was at rehearsal with Adam, I'm standing and this just falls off the strap and just goes face down, like right onto the floor and the pedal board and stuff. And like, it's fine. But, and I did kind of, I thought it was funny. I mean, if something's going to fall off a strap and hit the floor, I mean, this is the one you want that to have happen. So I found some, I have this old, real cheap Warlock that I got in, I don't know, 2000. Like, Musician's Friend was selling like the Bronze Series Warlocks. Musician's Friend was selling them for like $99. And my first good electric was this kick-ass first year NJ Warlock. And I'm, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll get that. And it had strap locks. So I pulled that off there, went to back to my old Schaller strap locks, and I played a song. So of course I'm just gonna remain being a bummer. My pal Rob, who passed away from pancreatic cancer in April, we did there was a benefit for a fundraiser, because that's what you have to do here. And so my buddy Rob was one of the founders of a craft brew pub called Guitars and Growlers, and they have craft beer, a lot of local craft beers, and they have handmade guitars that are built by local guitar builders, and maybe not all local, but it was a really cool thing. And I remember, I remember when I went full time doing this in October 2014. Rob met me for lunch because he wanted to, have lunch and talk about. He's like, I got this idea, and so he's telling me about this idea he has, which was a mixture of craft beer and handmade guitars. And there's a couple of locations. And when we've had the Cinco de Sully jams, they've been at Guitars and Growlers, and that was cool. And so usually what we would do is the bands would play, and then I would play a couple songs at the end. And so Adam's band played at this benefit, and they were nice enough to let me play with them. We did the Let's Go Crazy thing like I usually do, and that was fun. It was good. It was sad, but it was great that there was a really wonderful turnout. I hope it was wildly successful, and such a bummer. And there's some guitars that I have in the works for NAMM, and there are a couple of ideas that I had that I'm like, what exactly do I do to kind of make this work? And I'm like, oh shit, Rob did that. And I wanted to call him up and go, hey, what was that thing that you used to do this? And and I can't. And it's just sad, but yeah. Okay, so that's a 622. Let's help you out here. So this is, first of all, this guitar is rad. I'm not I prefer our other shapes, but if I'm gonna do a version of this, I'm gonna address some things. So I kept this one. This was just like an extra neck because we make these in batches. But yeah, this is back when I didn't have the programming done yet for the heel. So I used to, on the first few runs, the first few batches of 622s, I would do all this by hand still, because it was just faster for me to do that than to program it. So and then this headstock is like if you were to take our Raven head and then like what's on that Concorde, and then kind of mix it with a more traditional kind of vibe, you get this. But this guitar is rad. I've taken it to Santiago, Chile. I've taken it to France. I didn't take it with me to Korea because it wasn't that kind of trip. But yeah, I've surprised myself in that if the house were on fire, this would be one that I would want to take with me. And I think maybe it's, well, I mean, this, it's super rad, but I think it's also maybe because of the memories. But yeah, and then the Friedman, that's the JEL20. That's the shop amp, and I need to get it back to the shop. Yeah. A lot of people like those. I like, the one thing that I like that has become more popular now are like straps that have strap locks already built into them, but that don't look like a clip lock. Like those things obviously work great, but I don't know. I never got them, but like I know, I think Michael, when he gets his stuff, they all wind up getting clip locks. I know a lot of people that use those. Steve, right thumb working on a few. Yeah, I don't need to watch. A lot of flexing. Don't panic. It was stressful, but you'll be. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And I think I should have photos of your Astro end of next week, the end of this coming week. No, Rob was not at. That was Rob was not there for that, but I'm glad that you were. Yeah. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Not too bad. Yeah. Thank you, Video Game Hustle. I like them reversed. I just think it looks cooler. I don't know. Most of the decisions that I make regarding design are, well, why'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It's not but cool. But thank you. All right. Yeah, it's just a super flamey roasted maple neck. Cool, Ronnie. I will check it out later today. Okay, so what else? So we actually talked about some guitar stuff. That's good. Yeah, that my 622 is a dope guitar. Speaking of dope guitars, this one. So this was from the first run of Conspiracy Series guitars, the Stevie D signature that's got the gloss black Chicago flag on it, and the rest of it's all satin. I kept this one because, so here's a fun story of something going wrong. We all like these. It humanizes me. So with the first run of Conspiracy Series guitars, some of the string through holes on the back weren't always super straight. So me knowing what the internet can be like, I panicked and pointed it out, like, hey, some of these are really not where they should be. And the response was, yeah, it's tough to do. Some people they put the brass string through block in there. Okay, can we do that? Yeah, we can. You can have them made. Sure, we can send that with the shipment. You'll just need to design one. I'm like, okay, so I'll design them and then you'll order them and then you'll install them. Oh, no. We'll have them made and we'll ship them with the guitar and you can install them. Okay. I don't love it, but like when something goes wrong, obviously you have to, I don't love that, but as long as I have a solution that I can make work, I'm fine. I'm all right, whatever. Let's do it. So what I would have to do with these is this took a while. Take the bridge off, pop the string through ferrules out on the back, and Then I would take my template for the, see the string through block right there? Put that on there, route out the channel, and then I would take some water thin super glue to line the inside of the cavities just to kind of seal that wood. I don't know that I necessarily needed to do that, but probably a good idea. And then hit it with accelerator, install this, get on with the rest of the QC. Sometimes the super glue would, wind up where you don't want it. In most cases, with guitars shot in polyester, actually, let me change that to, when you have guitars that are shot in polyester, you can use acetone to clean it up. And the acetone, in my experience with the guitars that I've produced that were shot in polyester, in different manufacturers, different systems, you can use acetone to clean that stuff up. So that's cool. And I'm like, well, all right, I only got a little bit. Let's clean up the acetone on here. This is not polyester. It is satin urethane. Guess what urethane doesn't like? That's right, kids, acetone. So we had some problems with this. And the thing with satin finishes is you can't fix it like you can with a glossy finish. A glossy finish, like if you get a scratch, like some superficial scratches in the glossy parts, or actually, this part here might be polyester. I don't know. I'm not going to try it. But with gloss, if you have a problem, sand it, buff it. Generally speaking, you're good. Satin, you can't sand satin because, well, it's just not how it works. You can't sand satin to fix it like you would with gloss. My experience is that, satin, you spray it and then you just walk away and you hope for the best. Sometimes you'll get little bits of lint and whatever, and sometimes you can just kind of go just real quick just to kind of level that out. And, but just the way that this stuff is, it doesn't work that way. So I wound up trying to just buff the back of it with medium compound. So you can see there's a, this part here has a different gloss level than on the back. So I kept this one, and it's got some, well, that's just fingerprints and whatever, but it's a dope guitar. And we only did this for the first run, the Stevie D signatures. Pretty cool. Gloss black, black, black. That said, pretty much everything I own is for sale. So if anybody wants one, if anyone wants that one, let me know. What else? Yeah, I remember back in the Sully's Guitar Garage days, I did this video that showed you how to, you use your drill press and how to do it and how have them line up. So I mean, and that's what I used to do. But yeah, it's it's fiddly. I do like the string through blocks so much so that I've had more of them made. And for our string through guitars that have a straight hole pattern, we just use those blocks. I don't know. I like them. I think they're cool. Set it and forget it. No, why not? Oh, honey, I'm the wrong person. I've never heard a blues driver, and my experience with a DS1 was when I was a teenager. The guy that I took guitar lessons from, that's what he had in the studio. He had a DS1. So yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable about pedals. I never really had too many. I remember as a kid, I had an Arion octave pedal, and I remember like that was like the Arion pedals, they were like budget pedals, but like that one is good. That one was really good. So I had that. And like, I remember my first, what I thought was a distortion pedal was this Electro Harmonix Muff Fuzz. And it was like this, it was about the size of a pack of cigarettes. And it had, like, you could plug cords into it like a normal pedal, but it came with this male to male adapter. So one side of the adapter would plug into the pedal, and then you just plug the thing into your guitar. At least that's how it was sold to me. I was like 14. What the hell do I know? I might even have been 13. I don't know. And I had that for a little bit because like the amp that I had was this, it was a K amp from the 60s, and it was a very clean amp. And I remember it had tremolo settings, and I remember it said like tremolo, and then it had like speed. And I remember thinking like, oh, if I turn the speed up all the way, I'll be able to play faster. Is that how that works? Again, I was 12 or 13. And so, yeah, like I eventually got, like when I joined a band, like they had some amps there, and it was PV. They were PV like Backstage 20s or an Audition Plus. They were like little teeny tiny, like 110 practice amps is what we used to use. And I remember I liked it because it had like built-in distortion. It had, saturation. And then like I got a PV Classic, is it 50 watt? That was like 210s, and it had like the built-in distortion, but it also had like a built-in flanger and a phaser. And like, I didn't really know what to do with them. I just kind of made noise with them. And so, had that, and that got stolen. And speaking of pedals, Raj, I still have your Digitech, whatever that was, like in the flight case thing. I still have that. I remember it was when I think you went to Florida, and then you had me hang on to that and your gem that I think you sold to Dick Tracy. Remember we call him Dick Tracy? You had a couple friends named Tracy, and Tracy was a guy, so he was Dick Tracy. Anyway, so I still have that thing. It still works. Do you want it? I mean, I don't know. You want me to send it in like the flight case? The ends. I never had the ends to the flight case. It was just the open rack flight, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I can send that to you if if you'd like. Arion pedals are great. I had distortion in the phaser. I felt, see, there you go. All right. Super ODSD1 Waza, but the blues driver. Okay. All right. So we got some pedal talk going on. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. All right. Catfish has got to go get some new glasses. Both the arms on. Oh, try and relax a bit. Well, we know that that's not going to happen, but I hope you have a great day. Get those glasses, girl. Get you some fresh hotness. Larry. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. I truly do. Oh, good. So fun story. When well, I sent Larry the wrong guitar. We were wrapping up the arrival of the Ron 6 guitars, and I remember kind of, posting a little video, and okay, we're running out of time. So I posted a little video of like one of the 624s, the slime green, the Nelson Green 624s. And I'm like, hey, check it out. Wah, wah, wah. And Larry posted like, looking forward to getting mine. And I'm like, oh, right on. And I'm like, I don't see him in the list, the order list for the people that pre-ordered for this. Okay, it's probably a copy paste error on my part. So let's go to the I've got all the emails of the orders, and I'm searching for Larry, and I see Larry's name, and I see, because I didn't read all the way, 624. I didn't see the T or the Pop Life Sparkle, but that's okay. Or the PM. I just see 624. I'm like, Larry, 624. Okay. The good news is we've got one left. Oh, all right. Let's get this thing up. Let's send it to Larry. So a couple days later, Larry messages me. He's like, hey, so guitar arrived. It's cool, but this is not what I ordered. And he's like, I ordered the 624T with the pale moon ebony fretboard. And I'm like, huh, well, shit. That was the run that had just been ordered and wouldn't go into production until for a little while. So, I had sent Larry the shipping. We sent it back, and Larry got his. I think Larry, yours was the first guitar to ship once those things showed up. So yeah, that's the story behind that. Favorite pedal you've ever had was the Friedman BOD. All right. Yeah, I do. I don't know that I have the power cord for it, but it's universal. So like, because I do remember, like, I plugged it in within. I was going to say within the last couple of years. No, more like it's been longer than that. But within the last 4, I plugged it in, and like all the presets are still there. And it's, I mean, it sounds like 1993 technology, but that's what it was. Yeah, we'll figure that out. And if we can work it out, so I can just send you the unit and not the whole thing, like the case. But I mean, if you want to, we can figure it out. Let's see. Wish I had Fender Super Champ in the Rivera era. That's fun to say. It is an awesome T style. John Craig from Odette. Really? Huh. Was that you left that with me? Because I remember that was, did you have 2 of them? Or was that, I don't know. I remember that I hung on to a guitar and that Digitech thing for you. And maybe I had Dick Tracy in mind because we were kind of writing songs together at that time. Hello. Isn't it always? Thanks, Assad. Soldano Supercharger. Is that a pedal? I don't. That one I don't know. Oh, is that was one of the names of the presets? No, I don't. I think it's all kind of gone, because like the ones that I had saved for myself too were gone. So yeah, my mighty penis is gone. I know that this is probably what's going to get captured for the thumbnail. And you know what? Thanks for helping drive engagement, Raj. Hard to beat an old school rat. Yeah. You don't want to find them in your shop. That's for sure. Rev G4. Yeah, I've got a Rev. Maybe it's a overdrive. Chase distortion pedal, so high gain amp. Yep. There you go. The man's name is Murillo. Murillo? We're about to run out of time, so we may not find out that answer. Yes, sir. Pedal, large one. Fog is getting thicker. And Leon's getting larger.